This is a message to all my supporters of this podcast. I'm introducing a new supporters program. You can contribute a small amount as a one-off payment to show your love for this podcast. Thank you in advance for all your contributions.
Hi, my name's Mark Hayward. This is the Absolute Business Mindset podcast, and I am a corporate employee with an entrepreneurial mindset. So what I want to talk today about is business, and it's about balancing business between huge ideas and marginal gains, small iterations. So I just want to talk about that to be able to be a successful businessman, that you need to be able to set goals and create visions, but it's important that we think about those big ideas, because to be able to get those huge ideas, you need to be able to have the small iterations as well. So we've talked about various different people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Richard Branson, who are transformative leaders, and they would be very good at the big ideas, the huge ideas, and won't necessarily be as good as the iterations and the small gains that you do. Now, I recently heard something about Elon Musk, who said that he has these huge visions, as in he wants to go to Mars and create a people in Mars. And what makes him so special is that he then plans out, or his team plan out immaculately, all of the steps that he needs to do to be able to get the colonization of Mars. Now that is pretty special. Now, don't get me wrong, other people, but what I heard was there was a certain discipline with Elon Musk. I think it's because he comes from a sort of scientific background. He's an engineer, and I think that gives him that sort of minutiae detail that he enjoys just as much as the huge visions, the huge ideas. So if you are someone who likes to create a vision, create an idea, that's great. You should definitely try and use that. But you either need people in your team that can think about the small iterations, or you need to be good at it yourself. But so we've talked about the huge vision. So we like colonizing Mars, like electric cars, like Richard Branson, all of his ideas of being able to go around the world on a hot air balloon. All these things are the huge ideas. Now, what makes it all special is when you get the iterations as well. So this is the milestones, it might be called. It might be called the minuscule detail. It might be called small steps, baby steps. There's lots of different ways of being able to think about it, and you need to be able to get those steps all in place and understand them, because you can't deliver a huge vision without somebody, whether it's you or whether it's a colleague of yours, a manager, whatever it is. It might be another leader in your team, but they need to be able to break down that huge vision into steps. So what do you need? You need to be able to go into the minutiae detail. So, and what is important when you're dealing with the small details is that you need to be able to fail, right? No one likes to fail. I hate it. But if you fail fast, move on to something else, pivot, change what you're thinking, it can be an incredibly important and really driving force behind what your grand vision is, because you might need to be able to change it slightly to pivot, as I said, and therefore you're then going on to something slightly different. And all these sorts of times where you're failing means that the next idea might be the right idea. So I think that's incredibly important, that both when you're setting up a business, whether you're creating a plan, whether you're creating a vision, you need to have somebody to be able to do that small detail. Right. So creativity is the big ideas might be the eureka moments, but you need to iterate to success. Creativity is the making connections between the big idea and the iterations. So you can be creative on how you're going to deliver the grand vision, and doing that with a certain style and panache is advisable. You've got to be able to react to problems that arise, and you've got to be able to pivot quickly. You've got to be able to fail, and you've got to be able to do that fast and deliver. So it's just going to be a short one, because it's just I don't want to go into too much more detail, because it is as simple as that. To have a really successful business mission or a mission, you need to have the vision, and you need to be able to, you or somebody else in your team, to be able to create the milestones, the iterations, the small steps to be able to achieve that grand vision. It might be you, might be someone else. So that's where I'm going to stop. My name's Mark Hayward. Check me out on Twitter at MarkHayward169. YouTube, you've got all of my videos. This is my podcast. It's on Stitcher, iTunes, and Spotify. And there's also a private members group on Facebook, which is Absolute Business Mindset as well. Thank you very much.